Diablo IV is the latest and greatest in the Diablo series. I've been a huge Diablo fan since I was a kid, dungeon diving my way to hell in the first one. I've had a blast going through it. You can check out the live stream if you want to see some of the gameplay. But first, I want to tell you a few things you should expect if you decide you want to fight Lilith and the denizens of hell.
Speak the words. Call her.
Diablo IV starts with the awakening of Lilith, a demon with many titles like Queen of the Succubi or Mother of Sanctuary, to name a few. Sanctuary is where the humans live. She has a bold plan for the future of Sanctuary and immediately goes into action. Following close behind is the Wanderer, you, who is thrown into the fight and starts chasing Lilith across the land in hopes of stopping her and saving Sanctuary.
You are the key to finding her and stopping whatever she has planned.
Diablo games have always been graphic and full of gross sounds, but given the angle of the camera during gameplay and how far away it is, it can be a little tough to decipher what's actually going on. There are some cutscenes that will show a lot of blood and dismemberment at times, but there aren't any naughty words to worry about, just the bloody graphic stuff. Starting out, you get to create your very own adventure to play with. First, you get to pick a class. There is the Barbarian, a constant staple in the Diablo series, smashing enemies with their brute strength, or the Necromancer, using their dark magic to raise the dead and manipulate bones to vanquish their foes. You can play a Sorcerer, the spellcasting master of the elements, destroying enemies with spells or various summons. The Rogue, master of dexterity, jumping around the map, stabbing with daggers or shooting their bow. And finally, the Druid, with the ability to shapeshift into a wolf or bear and overpower everything. After selecting your preferred class, you get to select a body type and customize how they look. There are presets to select and run with, or you can get a little deeper into the customization, changing things like the haircut and color, eye colors, even jewelry and tattoos. You can change most of that in-game whenever you want, so it's not permanent. Oddly enough, you can't change your haircut as of right now. It kind of feels like they dropped the ball on that one. When you're all set up with the characters you want, there will be a small, straightforward section of the game, allowing you to get comfortable with your abilities and the playstyle of Diablo. During this short section, the story will be started, and you will be pushed out into the open world, ready to take on hell.
Bring him to the cathedral in Kyovashad, and you will be in the light's favor.
Diablo IV is set up in an open world with a story taking you through a lot of different environments and enemies. Sanctuary is broken up into 5 main regions, each of which is broken up into quite a few different areas. Within each region will be side quests, dungeons, and collectibles. These activities will be necessary to gain renown in the region. After so much renown is gained, you will be rewarded with extra potion charges, skill points, and gold. Diablo IV is borderline MMO in the fact that you will always be playing with other real players while in the open world. While next to another player, you will get a buff, increasing experience gained by 5%. That buff will be doubled if you're next to someone in your party. All enemies and areas will scale with your level, so the enemies will have the same general difficulty for everyone around. While out in the open world, you will find a lot of random events going on. As a reward, you'll get some gear and obols needed for gambling. There will also be larger timed events that show up on the overworld map, drawing a lot of different players to accomplish. They will take a little longer to beat, but the rewards are greater. There's even a world boss that rewards you with a weekly cache. Definitely worth keeping an eye on the map for such events.
Hello.
Every region will have one main city that you will automatically travel to when using your town portal. The towns will contain shops to purchase new gear, various upgrade spots for everything you need for your character, and a room with your stash for storing extra gems and gear, as well as a closet where you can change the look of your character and the gear equipped. They have made some changes to how potions work in Diablo IV. No longer will health orbs drop to heal your character, but instead charges for your potion, so healing is a lot more manual than before. At different levels, you will be able to upgrade your potion capabilities at the local alchemist if you bring them the right materials found in the wild. Potion upgrades are pertinent to survival, so it's very important to keep on top of it. The alchemist can do a lot more than upgrade your health potion. They will also create more advanced materials out of the low-level materials, as well as create different potions that can buff different resistances and stats. Those potions also grant an experience buff, so it's not a bad idea to have a few different potions active and on hand while exploring. The blacksmith in town will be the one-stop shop for playing with equipment. In order to upgrade, they will need gold and materials. In order to get the materials, they will need to salvage the useless stuff taking up space in your bags. Kind of a circle of life thing. Every piece of gear will have so many levels that can be upgraded, each level requiring more rare materials. But it also takes some gold, so starting out, it's a tough choice between salvaging gear or selling it so you can properly upgrade everything. Legendary gear will be the most important part of building a viable character. Aspects are what make a piece of equipment legendary. Aspects give special buffs to your character's abilities, or special boosts depending on what happens in combat. Certain aspects are available to specific classes and can be found on specific pieces of gear. Aspects can also be found in dungeons and put onto the rare gear you find. The legendary gear found from enemies will have the same aspects, but generally be stronger than what you get in dungeons. Legendary gear can also be destroyed for their aspect and used once to put on a new piece of gear. All aspect-related activities will be done with the occultist. Another important place to enhance your equipment would be the jeweler. They combine low-level gems, making a more advanced gem with better stats to place in socketed equipment. They can even add sockets to your equipment, if you have the extremely rare materials needed. They will also pull gems out if you want to change things out a bit. And they are the only place you can upgrade your necklaces and rings. One last thing you can do in town would be gambling. The obols rewarded from events and such will be spent at the Purveyor of Curiosities. There you will have the option to buy any piece of equipment you want. When purchased, the item is put in your inventory and can be any rarity from common to legendary. They also sell a few keys for whispering chests throughout the land, but I found gambling for gear to be much more lucrative than those random chests.
Truly favor you, friend.
Diablo IV has some extremely friendly mechanics in play for those wanting to make multiple characters. All of the gold and obols obtained will be shared between your characters. The skill points and potion charges gained from Renown is available from the start. Eventually, you can unlock a horse for faster travel. Once that's done, all new characters get it. They even allow you to skip the entire main story if you beat it once, allowing all new alts to go around anywhere they want and partake in endgame activities, after they meet any level requirements needed. After the credits roll, there will still be a lot of things to do. There will be various repeatable quests and higher difficulties to unlock. Odds are you won't even be anywhere near the level cap of 100 by the time you beat the game. Diablo IV is built in such a way you can forget all about your social life, food, and sleep to partake in everything it has to offer. At release, there is a shop available to spend real money on changing the way the armor looks for different classes. So far, nothing is for sale that will help you gain more experience or make your character any stronger. There will be a battle pass available later, but as of this review, I'm not sure what to expect there. So as of right now, there is no pay to win. All they ask is the base price of the game, and you can spend hours on what is already available without spending a penny more. Like I said earlier, I've been playing Diablo games since its original release back in 1996. I've always enjoyed the dungeon diving and RNG of dropped gear. Sadly, the way the open world is designed, they only put procedural generation in the dungeons, so a lot of the game will feel the same. Anyway, let's get these ratings underway and place it on a shelf. Visually, Diablo IV has come a long way from its predecessors. A lot of it looks really good. The only issue I have would be the fact that there weren't as many gorgeous cutscenes. Diablo III had amazing cutscenes in between each act. It was one of my favorite parts of the game. But Diablo IV only has 2 really good cutscenes, and most of it was used for the trailers. Cutscenes in between acts didn't look as smooth as I would have liked, so I'm giving it a 4. The story was full of the typical Diablo cliches I've grown to know and love through the years. However, the main arc was a welcome fresh idea I really enjoyed. It deserves a 5. Gameplay was spot on. They will constantly be buffing and nerfing everything to find that unobtainable perfect balance for everything, but gameplay won't change much. I'm handing out another 5. Replayability is kind of a tough one, or maybe strange. On the one hand, starting a new character is very easy, but you can skip the story and get right into the grind. It's also very easy to stick with one character forever without really replaying the story. I guess it's all about replaying everything if I really thought about it, but I'm going to give it a 4 before I get too confused. I had an absolute blast playing this game, and I'm going to continue playing for a very long time, when I have the time in between everything else. So obviously, that's getting a 5, making the average a 4.6. Not quite a 5 out of 5. I can't comfortably give the visuals a perfect score. With a 4.6, Diablo IV belongs on the high end of the top shelf. I can't say it enough, I love the Diablo series. The gameplay, the history, and lore behind everything that's been created is very fascinating and so much fun. I will note that Diablo gameplay can be an acquired taste, but I would recommend trying it out at least once. Any of them. If you have the time, that is. And now that I'm done with that, it's time to move on to the next one. I will see you there. Bye!